Hey guys, there's this huge line at the Pivot booth. Finally got some time with Chris here. You're the founder, and these are some of the best bikes on the market. That's what people are telling me. You've got an e-bike this year. It's like your 11th anniversary?
Yes,
is that right?
Yeah.
So just take it away, man. Tell me, like, why did you wait to get into e-bikes? What has made this the best e-bike that you could produce? And tell me about your company. I'm excited, and I don't feel like I don't know a lot.
All right. Well, Pivot Cycles, we were founded started in 2007. I actually, previous to that, owned a company called Titus Cycles for 17 years.
Heard about that,
Sold
yeah.
that, left.
17 years.
17 years.
Wow.
Started that in college, and so a lot of years of bike frame manufacturing. I think I welded my first frame in 1988. So
wow.
Been around for just a while.
You must ride a lot. You look young. You look happy.
I'm happy.
Yeah, dude.
Happy with this line, man. It's been great out here.
People are stoked.
Yeah, so we, as far as the e-bike thing goes, we've been selling in Europe for quite a few years, and I don't know, 4 years ago or so, people started asking shops there, when are you guys going to have an e-bike, when are you going to have an e-bike, and then it slowly started turning into, are you guys going to have an e-bike too? Well, if you're not going to have an e-bike, we're not really so interested.
Wow. And this is Europe. So
this is in Europe.
A lot of interest.
Particularly in Germany.
Okay.
And that's a big growing market for us, Germany and France. And I've got a little bit of a moto background, and really just like anything technical. So the idea of doing an e-bike was great, and we started experimenting and playing around quite a few years ago with what we could do. And we do a fair amount of product development stuff with Shimano over the years, and so we got a really early preview of the new E8000 system before it was the E8000 system, and looking at, Bosch was relatively new. Mountain biking was relatively new.
I think high bike was kind of one of the big.
High bike was going, and people are basically sticking motors on bicycles and calling it a mountain bike, and so we wanted to do something special and different and really integrate it and build a killer mountain bike first, and have it be an e-bike second. And we had some configurations with some of the early Bosch stuff that we could have maybe made work, but definitely size of motor and some of the technology that was there wouldn't necessarily allow us to build the level of suspension bike that we're capable of building now.
Well, the E8000's got that shorter chainstay. It's a little bit lighter. It's got that Q factor. I mean, it's more of a purist motor.
Yeah, everything about it, even just the way it pedals and behaves from a rider standpoint, it's you don't get on it and go, I need to really relearn the way I ride. If you're a mountain biker, you get on this and you're a mountain biker with a little extra push behind you, and you shift, you ride the bike relatively the same. If you normally spun up a hill, you spin up a hill. You don't slam it down into the hardest gear and crank up stuff. Unless that's what you do on your regular mountain bike, you still really shouldn't do that on this. But yeah, so the goal really was to how close can we get it in weight to a regular mountain bike? What can we do to make the bike perform like the best enduro bikes in our line? And it actually turned out to be quite a bit more than just taking our enduro bike geometry and integrating the 8000 series motor into it, because when you do add power to things, it changes the dynamics of the chassis and everything. So we went through multiple prototypes and really messing with the geometry and what is the balance between chainstay length and front end and head angle. And
can we get closer to this thing?
So
this is it's carbon, right?
Yeah, it's all carbon.
Beautiful. And you got the battery, some sort of custom battery integration where it's
so
right in the bottom
Shimano uses they have two battery options. They've got their regular external E8000 battery, and then they've got an internal E8000 battery, and the batteries are both 504 watt-hour batteries, so they're the same output, But the internal battery was actually, they didn't know how people were going to integrate it and if they were going to use the bottom of the battery as the bottom of their down tube. So they really built that battery kind of as a Sherman tank. So that integrated battery is actually, even though it's the same power output, it's 25% larger than the external.
Oh, wow. And is it heavier too?
Yes.
That's actually the same with the power tube from Bosch. I've noticed that it's heavier than their power pack.
You don't, that case has to be able to take hits, basically.
It's like alloy, right?
Yeah. And so, the external battery was meant to snap in on top of the down tube, be in the front triangle. So what we did is we took that external battery, the mechanism, the locking mechanism up front, we removed that and put on our own mechanism and basically mount the whole thing to a carbon fiber plate.
Cool.
And we've got these automotive style heavy duty gaskets here and on the charging side and all around the inside where the battery integrates. So this thing almost goes in with a suction cup like fit. It allows us to actually do thinner walls on the carbon tube because you basically have double the casing. We've integrated it so it's a structural member of the frame. Because it's 25% smaller and all of it is, the majority of it is down by the motor, it really concentrates all the weight low.
And this is a pass-through, right? So you've got the same LED readout that's like on top of the plastic casing on the side. Do you have the, I mean, it'd be cool to see. Is it very hard to get this open? You have to use like a hex tool?
Yeah, there's actually 8 bolts on there, and it's and then it comes out, and the demo bikes actually have a quick release system that we're testing.
Interesting.
On them too. So
for the most part, you feel like people are leaving the battery in the bike?
Yeah, it's easy to charge on the bike. If somebody is a super long distance rider and they want to pack a second battery, I can change the battery on the trail in about 5 minutes. But you're dealing with, you've got 8 bolts in your hand. You don't want to be dropping those in the dirt. It's not one where you want to be taking the bolts in and out and bringing your battery in the house to charge. It's really meant to, those bolts are Loctited. It's meant to go in there and not be just a quick release type item. So.
Well, and then it allows you to have this really custom frame, and I heard it's like 47 pounds or something, like really lightweight.
45 and a half pounds.
45, that's even better.
Yeah, so it's the lightest, e-bike in the category in the market currently.
Do you have a few sizes on this thing?
We do small through extra large. So it's
fantastic.
So we can fit 5. Actually, we had a girl won the kids Boogaloo race. She's 10 years old. 4'9". We lent her a small. She smoked all the boys. It was like, I think it's 14 and under.
Wow.
And she was just killing it.
That's awesome. And she was on. I heard that quite a few of the placings were with your bike.
Yeah, we won the men's open, and then we got 4th in the pro, and I finished a little further back in the open myself.
Oh, nice. Well, hey, you're in there. That's good.
Got the whole shot in the first moto, so I was happy about that.
Now, you were talking about keeping this thing lightweight and how it's really one of the lightest bikes in the category. Full suspension. Would you consider, what's the travel on this suspension here?
So we're 140 millimeter in the rear and 150 millimeter in the front.
Okay, so what category would you call this? Is this
trail enduro category.
Trail enduro? Yeah. Okay, kind of right in that sweet spot. $10,000? That keeps your wallet light, right? Is that part of it?
Not my wallet.
No, your wallet's getting heavier every day. I'm teasing, but I know this is the only e-bike you guys offer right now, and you've put like all your technology into it.
Yeah, across our line, we have a lot of $10,000 bikes. Our average regular bike is $6,800. So if you kind of just do the math on that, if you're buying, we sell the most bikes in the $6,500, $6,800 range, and you take that same level of technology into an e-bike and then add a motor system and a battery, and voila, you get $10,000. So
is one of that technology like is this split pivot rear suspension design?
It is a DW link.
It's DW link. Can you talk about some of the benefits of this, or just any of your other technology that
DW link rear suspension is a dual link suspension design. What's unique about DW link? There's a couple of different patents that cover it. One of them is called anti-squat. And so really most any suspension bike on the market, when you're under power, the more power you put into it, the more it wants to squat.
Right,
down.
right.
So if you think about an older like Cadillac or something, you get on the gas, and when that big V8 hits, the whole thing kind of settles down in the back.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty characteristic trait of like a 4-bar length bike, a horse length bike, in that you get more squat, and you wind up having to counteract that with a lot more compression damping in the shock.
Yeah.
But you add too much compression damping, and you start to get a harsher. You can't pick up the bumps, and so with DW Link and the anti-squat, we actually can optimize the pivot locations on this. So even though you're putting out all this power, we can run really light compression damping on the shock. In comparison, it's actually very similar to our Mach 5.5 model, which is like the equivalent travel bike in the non-e-bike line. And so when you're going downhill or across flats, you just really get that suppleness and the ability to take big hits.
Beautiful.
And the bike stays really planted.
Yeah, well, it's a beautiful looking bike. I appreciate you spending time. I know it's been a busy day for you. Hope I'll get on one of these eventually, do a little review, and I wish you continued success. I'll see you at future shows, man.
And hopefully you'll get out on one of these while you're here, too.
I'm booked, man. I got to keep filming all this stuff so you guys at home can check it out.
All right.
But you got out there earlier, right? You're out getting some rides in on North Star?
I just did the bike race and then got to come down the mountain.
Okay,
in the
so a
park
little
on
bit.
this,
You're
so-
working hard too, right?
Yeah.
Dude, good to see you again.
All right, good to see you.
Thanks.
Take care.